Happy Friday, everybody. We are coming into the holiday weekend, so the traditional markets are closed. However, as we know, crypto is always open for business. However, as we take a look at the volume, we can see ever since yesterday, the volume is just dying off. So it's might not be a whole lot of movement, or it could be a great opportunity for some medium to large size players that aren't necessarily institutional players to make some big movements in the market while volume is low. So we can see even though volume is falling off, open interest has also been falling off. So let's get back into our chart here. As we can see, we are still in this range. We didn't do much yesterday. Didn't really do much all week besides really just put in a range in the premium section of this bigger range. And we have dipped in to the supply that we had over here, and this is the extreme premium of the range. So this is still a great section to look for shorts, and we're also in that golden zone. We've hit the 786 several times of this range. We still have the same plans as we've had all week long. Really looking for a nice move to the downside is preferred. However, we could see a sharp movement up to one of these new order blocks that were created. Or we could just take the liquidity that we have all running right here. We could take that liquidity, and we could even come up and take this liquidity before a smash down. So those are a couple scenarios I'm watching. Of course, I always just simply watch every single high for an SFP. I prefer an SFP of the bigger range high, but we can absolutely treat this portion, which it is, another range instead of a range. So we have this here. And we did have that deviation of that range. Let's do a volume pull to see where the volume is inside this smaller range we've been in for this week. We do have the point of control here inside this order block, so I do really like that for a short. And it's a smaller order block, which means we get a smaller stop loss, and it could potentially even make some structure coming up into this order block and maybe give us an even smaller, maybe like a 5-minute order block as a retracement re-entry, break and retest. We could come up here and deviate the value area high and hit this order block, having a value area deviation and having a nice short from this one as well. Or we could come take these almost equal highs or just two liquidity points and SFP these highs into this naked point of control, into the supply. And this is the extreme supply of this range that is still left. There's no well, we do have a weekly in the supply too. I would also make note of that. That's nice. Could come back up there and tap that. We tapped it here once, but we have not ran through it with the close. So it is still a nice weekly level. So we have these two opportunities outside of the value area, but it's in the premium section of this range. And then we have this potential short option at this order block with the point of control. If we were to come back in here, which I would hope to see maybe today. Of course, we have the point of control. And we also have this VWAP right there, which is very, very nice. I do like this level. Of course, I have my alert set at each level. I'm actually going to move this one down at the value area high. Also, something to note, we have two poor highs right here. That definitely, I really do like this area. This entire area right here has a lot of confluence going for it. So I think that could also be a nice short area. Coming down into this section, looking for our longs. We do see the value area low here. Let's get rid of the bigger range just for a moment. Hide it. Get all those lines out of the way. And let's go ahead and hide this as well. Again, we have that value area low there. Make note of that. If we were to also see this as a range, you would see that this would be your extreme premium, so your supply and extreme premium, and this would be your demand and extreme discount. And if we throw the Fibonacci retracement inside of a range, we can see that we're hitting the golden pocket currently. And we have the 786 inside of our extreme discount section of the range. If we were to treat this as the lowest swing point, and it's not confirmed yet, however, I'm going to be precautionary to see what this looks like here. So we do have the golden pocket here as well as the 786 right before that area. And to take note, our poor highs are right in this golden zone. And again, it's no different than just saying it's in the premium or extreme premium section of the range. So those are the local levels I'm watching. Got my alerts set, ready to go if something does get hit. We have a lot of liquidity to sweep on both sides. So could we see that on low volume during the weekend? We could. It has happened many times before. We have this nice curve of liquidity here, and you also have a nice curve of liquidity here. So there's a lot of stop losses on both sides to take out to fuel for a nice move. However, we have to also consider that we are in the middle, the chop zone of this range. We are also in the chop zone of this bigger range. The only advantage we have playing in the zone is to recognize that we are in the premium section of this range here. The one that we hid earlier, let's go and put that back on. Where can I find you? There it is. So again, we are in the premium section of this bigger range. So is it okay to play the equilibrium of these two ranges? I don't necessarily like it, but if it gives us enough confluence and confirmations, I'll take it. Because these are the lower time frames and the higher time frame is going to hold more weight. All of these levels to the downside, we've gone over several times this week. Everyone knows those. Got alerts set. Keep your eyes out on those as well. Look for your confirmations going into those levels. I'm still ultimately looking down here in the $70,000 region for the ultimate drop and the ultimate buy or long zone. And that is about it on Bitcoin. If we get any kind of moves today, I'll keep y'all updated in the Discord.